Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Season 3, Week 24 of the DC Sports Digest. A little bit quieter than last week's crazy week, but still a lot to talk about with plenty of teams. So without further ado, let's just get started. Starting with the Nats, they had a busy week, getting into the swing of the new season. They won the Cubs series, lost the Phillies series in the first game of the Dodgers series, getting to a 3-4 record. James Wood had his first home run after the blowout loss to the Cubs. The crazy thing was Joey Weimer. He reached base in his first 10 at-bats. That ties an all-time record. He's still hitting like 588 or something, which is just kind of crazy. Really insane start to his season on a guy I feel like we just kind of took a flyer on. So congrats to him. I hope it continues. He's obviously has struck out and gotten out on that bat because that's obviously not sustainable, but he's still done really well and obviously has a huge batting average still, which is great to see. Our best game of the week was we scored 13 runs on 17 hits to crush the Phillies. Every starter had a hit, and almost all stars except one got an RBI, which is really amazing. Our offense has actually been looking pretty good, which is kind of what we expected. The pitching was going to be our weak point, but our offense has actually looked really good, which is great to see. We did blow a 6-1 lead, unfortunately, to the Phillies. Kind of bullpen issues, which is unfortunate. We got walked off the Phillies to lose that series. And then starting with the Dodgers didn't look very good. It was the Dodgers. Again, good offense. The pitching wasn't there from Miles Michaelis, who hasn't really been great. Haven't heard too many good things about him, honestly. I hope he can turn around for us, but had a slow start versus the Cubs and versus the Dodgers. Also made one small move. We acquired Curtis Mead from the White Sox, gave them catching prospect Boston Smith. So another guy just giving a flyer on, see what he can do. He's already, I think, come up to the majors and played a little bit. That's all I have for this week. Coming up, we have the end of the Dodgers series. Even if we get one game in that series, will be pretty impressive. Then we have the Cardinals series and the start of the Brewers series. That's all I have for the Nats. On to the Wizards, not a very good week. They lost to the Blazers, Lakers, and 76ers. Still not a very good record now, worst in the league. Will Riley hit 20 and lost to the Lakers, but other than that, not really anything positive to highlight. We allowed a season-high 153 points in the loss to the 76ers. Paul George, of all people, decided to turn into prime Paul George. He had like 40 points against us. Always someone going off against the Wizards. And unfortunately, another George, Keyshawn George, is officially marked out for the season. He had the UCL something, I think. He's officially out for the season. Wishing him a good recovery throughout the offseason, and he should be back for next season when things really start to turn around for the Wizards. Coming up this week, we have 2 games versus the Heat, 2 versus the Bulls, and 1 versus the Nets. Our last really full week, and then we'll have one more game after that that I'll talk about next week. That's all I have for the Wizards. On to the Caps, they beat the Golden Knights in the shootout, beat the Flyers. Unfortunately, lost to the Devils, bringing them to 85 points. That Devils loss is unfortunate, but I'll get to there in a second. They blew a 3-0 lead, catch up and won the shootout versus Vegas. Cole Hudson and Justin Stewart did really well. 2 young guys impressing, 2 points each. Wilson got to go in his 900th career game, so congrats to him. Ovi also reached 30 goals for the 20th time, and they both scored twice in a nice win versus the Flyers. Unfortunately, the Devils game was not as great. Thompson played his 200th career game. We did lose to the Devils, did not look very good in a game that we really needed to win, and could have helped us get into a playoff spot. Obviously, we don't need to make the playoffs. It's not going to help us at all to lose in the first round. It would have been nice to see, but we're really not in a position to make the playoffs this year with some of the trades we made and just how we're set up. We're set up to kind of retool at the end of this year because things haven't looked super good, and maybe retool the next 2 or 3 years and then kind of be back to form. But it is also kind of unfortunate when we finally somehow still have a chance to make the playoffs. If we won against the Devils, we'd be only like a point or 2 away. We lose, but it's still possible. We're not mathematically eliminated, but I'm still not getting my hopes up too much. Just haven't been playing super well. Like I said, even if we do make it, we're just going to lose in the first round, probably to Carolina, assuming we get that second wildcard spot. But, it's good to see them make a push and see some of our young guys. So that's really what I'm focused on. At the end of the season, coming up, we have games versus the Sabres, Rangers, and Maple Leafs. If we want to make the playoffs, we really cannot lose any more games. So we'll see what happens with that. That's all I have for the Caps. On the Commanders, very quiet week for them. They signed a D-tackle, DJ Davidson. And then also Terry and JD5 start some offseason work. They are working out at UCLA. The official offseason program I think I saw starts on April 20th, then goes on throughout May and June. And that's really all for the Commanders. I'm hoping to do at least one more mock draft before the draft is on the 23rd, so Should be able to get at least one more out, maybe two. So we'll see what happens. So stay tuned for those. A lot of other DC sports news. Not much for DC United, but they have a game today versus Dallas. DC Power lost to Lexington. Their next game is this week versus Fort Lauderdale. Spirit tied Denver. They had an amazing opening game. Denver is a new team. They play at Mile High. They had like 60,000 fans. It's great to see. Unfortunately, only get a tie with them. Their next game is tomorrow versus Bay FC. DC Defenders had two games, actually, I didn't realize, to start their season. Didn't look super good versus St. Louis, but they also did not have a preseason. They looked a lot better against Columbus. Actually, Sean Taylor's brother, Gabe Taylor, is playing for the Defenders now. He got the game-stealing interception, so that was great to see. Defense forced a lot of turnovers, which is also great to see. The next game is the next Saturday. Old Glory DC lost their first game to Seattle in rugby. Their next game is next Saturday. On my weekly awards, my game of the week is for the Nationals beating the Phillies 13-2. That was really great to see. Player of the week is Joey Weimer for his historic first 10 at-bats, reaching base on all of them. Still currently hitting .588. That is just really impressive. Hope he can keep it up throughout the season. Team of the week, even though they didn't look super good, I'm still giving to the Caps 2-1 record. Probably the best team out of the many that we had, unfortunately. That's all I have in this video. So thank you guys for watching. Check out Instagram and stay tuned for some mock drafts. Like and subscribe, and thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one. Bye.